Alright, so this is the first of my devlogs, and today we're going to be talking about character creation. As you can see on the screen, I actually first start off using Character Creator. Fantastic program. I'm absolutely in love with it. It's super quick to work through and get everything working. So basically you get this template and you go through and you start working on it, getting it like proportionally correct to the things you want, you know, getting it situated how you like it, like getting your shoulders bigger or your belly bigger. In this case, we're making a character called Fat Cat, right, who is the main protagonist of the process, or I guess the movie. Anyway, so yeah, we're making this guy, and he's like this big like greed fed, so much so that it's physically noticeable, like this big greed fed physically noticeable character. Like when I was working on him, I had the mentality, I guess, of it being kind of like Kingpin from the comic books, but obviously with like our own little twist on it, right? So going through and just kind of shaping it out to this big, monstrous, ugly thing was kind of what we were going for. It didn't quite work out as well as I'd wanted to, because I'm not as talented in this process as I was hoping for, but Character Creator definitely opened up the opportunity to kind of get close to it at the very least, right? As you can see, we're still like in here working on the face, trying to like get it looking the way we want it to look, and feeling the way we want it to feel. And it's just this really, I don't know, it's just this really interesting process. It's super fun to work with. I really love the program, and it makes the process move so quickly when it comes to character creation. Right now we're kind of testing out its face and seeing like what it looks like when we're using facial expressions. They've got a bunch of really cool preset facial expressions built into Character Creator, which is pretty awesome. We found one that kind of looked the way we wanted it, and we're gonna pretty well get ready to start moving from there into ZBrush. Now, ZBrush isn't something that I'm super familiar with. It's not something that I've got a lot of practice in, so using ZBrush is still a really new process for me. Thankfully, it's also a fairly intuitive system once you get the hang of it. So sculpting in it and like modifying and editing the things that you're seeing isn't as difficult as it was, at least when I first started. There was definitely a point in time though where I was complaining so badly about how everything was broken. It just didn't feel right. Everything was just unenjoyable. Like, ZBrush is definitely not for the faint of heart, and coming from like a Blender background, it was difficult to get the hang of. But thankfully, like with a little bit of perseverance, we were able to start getting some decent sculpts, and you can see that I'm just kind of like adding more to the shape of the face, you know, like accentuating certain things and softening some others, trying to get the form that I want, that kind of feel that we want. Unfortunately, when we had it in Character Creator, we had some interesting little bits, and you can see me kind of correcting that here. I didn't do a great job of it by any means, but I'm over here just trying my damnedest to get it done and looking as good as possible. We get to see a whole lot of this man throughout the process of the video. So with a lot of this like sculpting and designing done, adding up, getting like the eyes and all that stuff right, we're pretty much done here in ZBrush. And what I do now is I import it back into Character Creator, where I'm able to kind of play around with seeing how well the sculpt kind of sat. Like, did we break anything with the face? Do we have any issues with the rest of the animation, the rest of the posing, things like that? So you see me just kind of like playing around and examining like the way the body feels. Like that right there is like the Jean Grey pose. And then we go into Blender, which is where I basically, like, this is where I do all of my UV mapping stuff, because I don't really feel comfortable yet doing it in ZBrush. So what I'm doing now is I'm just flattening all of the color. You see me like getting into the face itself and just taking all of the detail out of the texture. When it gets put into the engine, when it gets put through the shader, having it flatter greatly enhances the stylized look that I'm going for. And it's just a phenomenal look in the end. It's gonna be kind of creepy for a while, but it makes sense in the end. Okay, so now that we've got it all pretty well flattened, what you're actually not going to see in this part is I do import it back into Character Creator. That way I can keep the skeleton intact without having any kind of issues, and then import it into Unreal Engine. Right, so that's where we're at now, and you can kind of see as I'm taking all the textures and applying them to the cell shaded texture that we have. You'll see that part like shortly. I don't know what I was doing over there. I was just kind of like goofing around, I guess. But yeah, so this is me actually applying the textures and getting him all flattened up like he's supposed to with the cell shading. And thus far it's looking pretty good. there's really not a whole lot left after this point. And here shortly, we're gonna hop into the engine, or not into the engine. We're gonna hop into the play and run through. So now you can see that we're obviously playing as main character, the girl with the blue hair. Taking a look and seeing what he looks like when he's reacting to the lighting. The cell shading works. He's pretty much good to go. So with that said, this pretty well concludes the character creation process that I'm using for ORCA. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do apologize for it being cut from stream, but if you guys are interested in streams, if you guys are interested in Twitch, things like that, I do the development on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/gamer. So if you guys want to come and hang out over there, that's the perfect time, perfect place. Thank you guys so very much again for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it, and hopefully we can make some more videos and you guys have yourself a good time with them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all that fun stuff, because I mean that's what all the rest of the YouTube videos say at the end, so I'm gonna do the same because they're probably onto something. And yeah, have a good one, guys.